Why did the runner bring a ladder to his workout? Because he heard it was time for interval training. Now, that's a classic mix-up. But don't worry, we're here to clear the air. Interval training is a type of workout that alternates between intense bursts of activity and fixed periods of less intense activity or even complete rest. It's like a roller coaster ride for your heart and muscles. You start with a warm-up, then sprint like there's a hungry bear chasing you, slow down to a jog to catch your breath, and then sprint again. This cycle repeats throughout the workout. The idea is to push your body to its limits, but only for short periods. It's not about climbing physical steps like our misinformed runner with the ladder. Instead, it's about pushing your limits in bursts. So, you see, interval training isn't about climbing physical steps, but pushing your limits in bursts. Have you ever wondered why interval training can feel like a roller coaster ride? Well, the answer lies in the fascinating science behind it. Interval training, in essence, is a series of high-intensity exercises interspersed with periods of lower-intensity recovery. These rapid shifts in intensity create a unique response in our bodies. Firstly, let's discuss heart rate. When you're pushing yourself during high-intensity periods, your heart rate spikes. This helps pump more blood and consequently more oxygen to those hard-working muscles. But in the recovery periods, your heart rate drops, allowing your body to recharge for the next intense bout. Now let's talk about oxygen consumption. During those high-intensity intervals, your body's demand for oxygen exceeds its supply. This oxygen deficit forces your body to switch to anaerobic metabolism, a process that doesn't require oxygen but produces lactic acid. This lactic acid you might recognize as the culprit behind that burning sensation in your muscles. But don't fret. As you enter the recovery phase, your body switches back to aerobic metabolism, using oxygen to break down stored carbohydrates and fats for energy and to clear out the lactic acid. And what about endurance? Well, by repeatedly pushing your body to its limits, interval training stimulates physiological changes that enhance your aerobic and anaerobic fitness. Over time, your body becomes more efficient at using oxygen and clearing lactic acid, increasing your stamina and speed. But here's the kicker. The repeated stress recovery cycles of interval training also trigger a phenomenon known as excess post-exercise oxygen consumption, or EPOC. This is essentially your body's way of repaying the oxygen debt accumulated during those intense intervals, resulting in a boosted metabolism and continuous calorie burning even after your workout is over. So, that's the science behind the roller coaster ride of interval training. It's a series of intense peaks and restful valleys, each playing a pivotal role in boosting your cardiovascular health, enhancing your fitness levels, and maximizing your calorie burn. Just like a roller coaster, it has its ups and downs, but it's all part of the thrill of the ride. Ever heard the phrase, no pain, no gain? Well, in the case of interval training, it's more like short pain, big gain. Interval training, folks, is sort of like the superhero of workouts, swooping in to save the day and your health. Let's start with the biggie, improved cardiovascular health. This type of training challenges your heart by alternating between high-intensity and low-intensity exercise periods. It's like throwing your heart a surprise party. It doesn't know what's coming next. This challenge can help your heart become stronger, more resilient, and better equipped to handle physical stress. Next up, we have increased speed. Interval training is the secret sauce to becoming faster. It's like adding a turbo boost to your regular workout routine. By pushing your speed limits during the high-intensity intervals, you're teaching your body to adapt to faster paces, and before you know it, you're leaving Roadrunner in the dust. Another great benefit is efficient calorie burning. Interval training is a bit like setting your metabolism on fire, in a good way. The high-intensity bursts raise your metabolic rate, meaning you continue to burn calories even after your workout is finished. It's like getting bonus points for effort, and who doesn't love a good bonus? And let's not forget about the variety. Interval training is like a buffet. There's something for everyone. It can be adapted to many types of exercises, so you're less likely to get bored. From running, cycling to swimming, the world is your interval training oyster. Last but not least, interval training can be time efficient. This is perfect for those of us who find there just aren't enough hours in the day. By combining high intensity and low intensity periods, you can get a killer workout in less time than traditional endurance training. So, if you're up for a bit of short pain for big gain, interval training could be your golden ticket. But wait, before you lace up your sneakers, remember that every silver lining has a cloud. Yes, my friends, interval training, despite its many benefits, does come with a few potential drawbacks. Let's unpack these. Firstly, the intensity of interval training can increase your risk of injury. Your heart, lungs, and muscles will be pushed to their limits in a short span of time. This could lead to injuries such as sprained ankles, pulled muscles, or even stress fractures if you're not careful. It's like driving a sports car at full speed. Thrilling, yes, but also risky. This brings us to the second point. Interval training is not for everyone. It requires a solid fitness base to begin with. If you're new to running or have been inactive for a while, jumping straight into interval training might be like trying to climb Mount Everest without any mountaineering experience. Not a good idea, right? Also, interval training can be mentally challenging. You're not just running at a steady, comfortable pace. You're pushing your body to its limits, then recovering, then doing it all over again. It's like a roller coaster ride, but one where you're doing all the work. This can be tough to sustain, especially if you're not used to such intense workouts. Another thing to consider is that interval training can lead to overtraining if not balanced with adequate recovery. Overtraining can lead to a decrease in performance, increased fatigue, and even a weakened immune system. It's like burning the candle at both ends. Eventually, you'll burn out. Finally, interval training is not the most social form of exercise. If you enjoy running with a group or chatting with a friend during a workout, interval training might not be your cup of tea. The intensity of the workouts makes it difficult to hold a conversation or keep pace with someone else. Remember, it's not all sunshine and rainbows. You've got to be ready to dance in the rain too. So before you dive headfirst into interval training, consider these potential drawbacks. As always, it's best to consult with a fitness professional before starting any new exercise regimen. Now, let's bring it home. You're training for a 5-kilometer run, and you're wondering, can interval training help you? Absolutely! Interval training can be a game changer for your 5-kilometer run. Let's break it down. Imagine your 5-kilometer course. It's not a flat, straight line, is it? There are ups and downs, twists and turns. You're going to need bursts of energy to power up those hills and speed through those flat stretches. And this is where interval training shines. Interval training involves alternating between high-intensity and low-intensity exercise periods. These intervals mimic the varying intensity of a real-world 5-kilometer run. To tailor interval training for a 5-kilometer run, you can start by incorporating short, high-intensity bursts into your regular runs. For example, you could run at a comfortable pace for 3 minutes, then sprint as fast as you can for 30 seconds. Repeat this cycle throughout your run. As your endurance improves, you can adjust the intervals. Perhaps you could run at a moderate pace for 2 minutes, then sprint for 1 minute. The key is to keep challenging yourself. Interval training not only improves your speed and endurance, but it also helps your body become more efficient at using oxygen. This is crucial for a long-distance run like a 5-kilometer race. Now, remember, interval training is intense. It's important to listen to your body and rest when needed. It's also crucial to warm up before starting your intervals and cool down afterwards. This will help prevent injuries and ensure you're at your best for each training session. Finally, don't forget to have fun and celebrate your progress. Interval training can be tough, but it's also incredibly rewarding. You'll be amazed at how quickly you can improve your 5-kilometer run time. So, if you're looking to crush that 5-kilometer run, interval training might just be your secret weapon. Let's wrap it up with a bow, shall we? We've been on quite a journey, exploring the peaks and valleys of interval training for a 5K run. It's been a bit like a roller coaster ride, hasn't it? We took a deep dive into the science behind interval training, revealing how it can supercharge your stamina and speed. We also discovered that it's not all roses and rainbows. There are challenges to face, like the risk of overtraining and injury if not managed properly. We then zoomed in on the specifics for a 5K run and how interval training can be a real game changer. It's a bit like adding a turbocharger to your running engine, giving you that extra oomph when you need it. So, is interval training a silver bullet? Well, not quite. But it's a powerful tool in your runner's toolkit, if used wisely. Remember, interval training is like a box of chocolates. It might be a bit bitter at times, but the sweet rewards are worth it. Please remember to subscribe for more video.